evening, ladies and gentlemen, honorable opponents, and honorable adjudicator. I am Angela Lynn, the second speaker of the affirmative team, and we are going for the motion that the UN should not allow any permanent members in the Security Council. First, I would like to start off with a few rebuttals. Well, the opponent apparently said that the countries, the 5 permanent countries who rule, are, legitimate because they were the 5 countries that have some of the best minds, and then they're the most mature. After all, after World War II, they had the most power. However, I would like to say that not those countries will not maintain the best minds and most mature. And how do you know that they'll continue to have that throughout the years? Because those countries cannot be superpowers forever. And I will elaborate on that point a little later. Furthermore, I think what Yifang said was that there would be the countries would be re-elected 5 years, except they should not have a veto, or else they would have absolute power. And so without a veto, they would still maintain a democracy. And the democracy only needs to be a majority of the votes. Now, I would like to reiterate some of Yifang's points and elaborate onto some of mine. So, like he said, it would increase the legitimacy of the UN Council, because right now the countries, the 5 permanent countries, the developing countries only believe that they're exercising the Western forces and their own interests, thus making every solution will be biased, and it's unfair and unjust. Furthermore, they have the veto powers, and usually they end in a deadlock because those admissions procedures prohibit organizations to commit on the current needs. And furthermore, it provides, if there weren't permanent countries, it would provide an incentive for non-permanent countries to actually care about crises in our worlds right now. Right now, if there are the permanent countries ruling the UN Security Council, they literally have absolute powers and they can veto whatever happens. Like Yifang made an example with the Syrian conflict, and just because Russia and China, they didn't, they disagreed with the majority, the entire solution was abolished and it was ignored and neglected. And we need to bring more order, we need to bring more efficiency and reliability. And if we can have a broader scope of everyone's opinions, then, it would be better. Now, I would like to bring up an example that happened a few years ago with the Iraq War as well. Just because few countries of the Permanent Council, they disagreed with the rest of the majority's decision, that decision was, ignored, and it wasn't taken into action. As a result, these very important global crises such as war, stuff that is, the events that will actually lead to, millions and millions of deaths, we need to consider them. And those developing countries that are not part of the permanent UN Security Council will, they won't give their thoughts and opinions, and the UN won't be as legitimate as it can be. So therefore, the affirmative team, we strongly believe that the UN should not have permanent